For this week, we will start a new chapter, and that chapter is little bit easy. For we are now we for till last week we are studying about some basic things from biology like tissues, cell, and all. So to get some relief, we will go to another chapter, that is why do we fall ill. So why we are getting these diseases. So before entering to this chapter, we know that we all the humans in this universe, sorry, inside this earth, we are getting diseases. Not even for humans, animals, plants, all of them are getting diseases. So why we are getting diseases exactly, it is unknown, but only one thing know that it is the life cycle of that particular organism. And now in this situation also we are running through one of the diseases which is total shutdown, that is known as coronavirus. So coronavirus spreading from one person to another, it means that the coronavirus is undergoing reproduction, and that reproductive virus, that virus which is formed through the reproduction is transferring from one place, one person to another. That is the meaning they're running. So still now we don't know why we are getting these diseases. And if you're going through this WHO, the World Health Organization, which is coming under the UN, so they are controlling the health of the entire world. They are making policies. Through those policies, each and every country will take a decision, impact that, input that policies to the particular countries. It depends upon this the country status, financial needs, then total number of populations, areas, everything. So WHO is the main organization that is controlling the health of the entire organisms in this world. So they have different separate sections for plants, animals, and humans. WHO is having. So according to this WHO, the health means. So this definition is given by WHO in 1948, soon after the end of the Second World War, after 3 years after the Second World War. The health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. That is a definition that is given by the World Health Organization. Every time we will say that disease means whenever getting fever or some viral infections. No. So if we are not physically, socially, and mentally, if we are not fit, that condition is called as health. And in 1986, that is made little further clarification. A resources of everyday life, not the objective of living. Health is a positive concept emphasizing social and personal resources as well as the physical capacities. The same thing, but they have just redefined it by putting some psychological things also inside in the modern terms. In the modern term, they redefined that terms. So in 2009, uh, there is some researchers from the published in the Lancet. The health has the ability of a body to adapt to a new threat and infirmities. That is also called as in the healthy condition. But whatever it is, we are getting some sort of disease to our body, either physically, mentally, or socially. We are disturbed here and there. Sometimes, most of the times in our cases, it is by the infection by through some bacteria or virus, etc. So first we have to see what are the systems that is present in our body that protect against this diseases. So those systems together we will call it as immune system. Immune means put a barrier or fight against, that is the meaning. So whenever a bacteria or virus that is coming inside us, which is generally considered as pathogens, which can cause some disease, they are considered as whatever is coming from outside, they're pathogens, and which is considered as antigens. Antigens are the substances that are coming out from the human body, from a particular body, and which can boost an immune system. That means which activates the immune system inside us. They are known as the antigens, and these antigens are also called as pathogens. So we are having many pathogens in the form of bacteria, in the form of virus, protozoans, fungus, and even as a proteins, which is known as prions, Creutzfeldt's disease. There are a lot of things are there. So the first immunity that we'll get, thing that comes to play, is known as the white blood cell. And here I have shown a diagram just for your understanding. That means a white blood cell that is attacking an anthrax bacteria, that is in orange color they have given. It is our latest updates, latest of pictures that is found. Earlier times we don't have these type of pictures to study, so they are known as the, that yellow color structures, they are known as the leukocytes or white blood cells. So the inside these white blood cells, we have different parts are involved, different parts in the body are responsible for that. So where they grow, and white blood cells and RBCs both are formed from bone marrow, and some of these white blood cells got matured in thymus. Thymus is a gland that is a gland between the lungs, and that means just below the neck. That is that. One is to the spleen, and another one is bone marrow. Then is a lymph node, and there are two main types of leukocytes are there. One is known as the phagocytes. Phagos means eating, cell eating, and inside that we are having neutrophils. We had discussed this in the connective tissue, that is blood. Neutrophils, these are the neutrophil is a common phagocyte that is present inside the blood that attacks against bacteria. Then we have monocytes, the largest cell. Then we have macrophages itself, which itself the function is attacking the cells, and the mast cells. So their best job is whenever heal the wounds, and whenever these antigens are coming out, they secrete some chemicals and kill them. And there's one more thing, these mast cells are responsible for some type allergy also. Allergy means sometimes when the dust comes in continuously, if it dust comes in, body knows it is a dust, but some condition is not like that. As soon as the dust comes, these mast cells will get active, and they secrete some chemicals known as histamines, and which causes some allergic reactions in our body. Next is lymphocytes. Lymphocytes means these particular lymphocytes are growing inside the lymph nodes, mainly inside the lymph nodes. So there are two types of lymphocytes are there. One is known as the T lymphocytes and the B lymphocytes. These, why they have given B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, because B lymphocytes, its origin, that means the area of production, that means formed area is from bone marrow, and it get matured from the bone marrow itself. Why it has to get matured? Because a particular B cell and T cell, that means all the cells that is responsible for immunity, they must know the self cells. If they don't know the self cells, automatically they go and kill our cells also. So some such conditions known as autoimmune disorders are also seen. So these B cells are produce, it is a last type of defense that is present in our body against this. They are very powerful. So B cells and T cells, they are responsible to give the defense line. And next comes is diseases and infection. So we must know what is an infection and what is a disease. Infection is the first step. That means when the bacteria is entering into that particular first step is known as infection. When these infections started to affect the main organ parts or nearby organ parts in our body, we will call it as diseases. And there are two systems, similar two things that comes from when the infection and diseases comes, that is signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms. So when we are coming to the signs and symptoms, It is a symptoms and signs are used for the identification. So these symptoms means what are the conditions you are having at present when you got diseases, and from these symptoms there will be very crucial parts of symptoms will be there, which is called as signs, can be lead to a particular disease. For example, when we get fever, when we go to the doctor, we will say that I have severe headache, severe body pain, sometimes vomiting, diarrhea, that is loose motion. These are called as symptoms. From that the doctor will see the main thing. Okay, he is having severe headache. Okay, one sign. Next sign, he is having body pain, body temperature is high. From that he will come to a conclusion that this is a viral or bacterial. So these are, that is a difference between signs and symptoms. So what are the different types of diseases we are getting? One is known as the infectious disease and non-infectious disease. Infectious disease means which can be spread from one person to another. Non-infectious disease means which cannot be spread from one person to another. And pathogens are the external, which can cause a disease. And then we have vectors also. Vectors are carriers. For example, malaria, the carrier of this malaria, that is plasmodium, which causes malaria, is mosquito. So vectors are organisms which carries the pathogens, but they will never undergo any disease. Mosquitoes, we have not heard that mosquitoes got malaria. So they are known as the vectors. And different types of microorganisms that can cause disease. One is bacteria. Bacteria are is also a pathogen. There are many bacterial diseases are there, like cholera, typhoid, pneumonia. Viral diseases are there. Viruses are neither living nor non-living. So but soon they find a host, they started to replicate and they started to do its cellular mechanism, and we will get disease. And we have many fungal diseases also in our body, like ringworm infections, nail infections, and in winter time we will get some fungal infections on our skin also. It is very common, it is natural ones. And some of them are parasitic in nature. That means they live inside the host. They will take the food and protection from the host, and it started to multiply. This parasite start to multiply and leads to the host body into disease conditions. And these are infectious is example for the infectious diseases, that is HIV, AIDS, AIDS, malaria is infectious, plague is infectious. So these diseases are generally considered as which can be spread from one person to another. And how it is spread from one person to another, what are the different methods of spreading, what are the methods to prevent that. So we will discuss this in next week's class. Thank you, and if there is any doubt, please comment below wherever I am posting this video. Thank you.